Konnichiwa everyone, it's Dan from JaDan.co.uk and today I'm going to talk about my favourite manga comic series. Onubla and he's learning to jab, the gateway drug of manga. It's finally happened guys, I've finally listened to your suggestions and I'm going to talk about some more nerdy stuff on my channel. So with that in mind, the first step today is to give a bit of a rundown of my favourite manga series when I was back in England. Manga is Japanese comic books and they're super popular here, but they're also pretty popular in the West, with some of the series being like household names. You've probably heard of things like Dragon Ball and One Piece and Naruto. Anyway, I'm going to give a quick rundown today of like the 5 manga series that I really liked and we'll take it from there. Number 5 on my list of manga series that I really enjoy is called Bakuman. Bakuman is kind of a slice of life story. It's not really action and it follows the story of 2 kids who are following their dreams to become mangaka, which is manga artist. And it's like a love story too, with the heroine trying to become a voice idol, and if they ever make their dreams they're gonna get married or something. It's not really my style of stuff that I like, but for some reason I got really invested in this story. I think in England there was 20 books and I would buy them the day they came out. I would go to like Sheffield Space Centre and I'd make sure that I bought the latest edition. So yeah, I really enjoyed those books. Quite a lot of comic relief in those books as well, especially if you're into like manga. A lot of like fourth wall breaks and like inside jokes and stuff, which is kind of cool. So yeah, I really enjoyed Bakuman. Number 4 on my list of manga that I like is a more modern book. It's called One Punch Man and it's very popular in Japan. It's also very popular back home and it's kind of a sarcastic look at the action series for manga. So like in Dragon Ball and Naruto, you've got like a bad guy and you power up and you train and you beat him. Then a bigger guy comes along and repeat. This is kind of different. This follows the story of the hero called Saitama, who is the most powerful dude in the world and he can kill everyone or anything with one punch, and he just knocks people out. And then a bigger guy comes along and he just knocks him out and all. So it's a bit weird, but it's kind of funny. It kind of turns the whole thing on its head. Lots of comedy in this series and yeah, I really enjoy it. I read the first, can't remember, maybe 6 or 7 in England before I left and I keep buying them in Japan even though I can't really read the Japanese, and the anime is actually pretty good too. So yeah, One Punch Man. One Punch! Number 3 on my list of manga that I like that I've not really put that much thought into is kind of an older one called Hajime No Ippo. Hajime No Ippo translates as basically like the first step or something like that. And it's a boxing manga. It follows the story of a guy in high school who gets bullied called Ippo and eventually he decides, I'm sick of this, I'm going to a boxing gym and I'm going to learn how to do some boxing. And he does. And it follows the story of his progression, like from a little noobler and he's learning to jab. And then he moves all the way up and he's like in professional boxing matches and stuff. I really like these books, they're really cool. I don't usually go for like the sporting manga stuff, but I really liked this. And I'd highly recommend it to anyone that's looking for something to get going. If you're into boxing especially, you're going to really like this. So yeah, check out Hajime No Ippo. Number 2 on my list of manga series that I really like is a series called Hajime no Renkinjutsu. In English this is Fullmetal Alchemist and this series is wonderful. I think it's 26 or 27 books and I really liked this. The characters are great. My favourite character, probably Roy Mustang with his like little flicking and shit. And it follows the story of a world where alchemy is possible and it's widely used by the state military, and there's a big underlying story arc that comes together, and it basically follows the story of Ed and Alphonse who are trying to get their bodies back after they committed the ultimate taboo. Anyway, really good story, lots of emotion but a lot of humour too, and I think this is the second series I ever read, and this is the one that kind of pushed me over the edge to like, oh, I actually kind of like this stuff. So yeah, really, really good. Highly recommend it. The art style's really nice too. Check it out. So number 1 on my list, and it's probably not going to be a surprise to anyone. It's what is commonly known as the gateway drug of manga, and this is a little series called Death Note. Insanely popular, and I'd never really encountered manga before I read Death Note. I didn't even know what it was. And then one day my brother gave me like the first 3 issues. He was like, just read this, see what you think. And I never really bothered. I'm like, oh, okay, I'll give it a read. And he follows the story of a guy who finds a book and he writes people's name in the book and then they die. And whatever he writes in the book happens. And then I'm like, oh, this is kind of cool. And then it turns into like this awesome cat and mouse game between like the main protagonist, Light Yagami, and the main kind of hero character, who's L. And it's like cat and mouse in the open. Like they're trying to stay hidden, but they're in the open, and it's just like a thriller, kind of a mystery series. And I really, really enjoyed it. And after I'd read those first 3 books my brother gave me, I went out and just bought the rest. I was like, yo, I need to keep reading this. And it really is the gateway drug of manga. Like after that, I was like, wow, that was really cool. I didn't even know this thing existed. And now I'm really into it. So then I went out and bought Hajime No Ippo, like Fullmetal Alchemist. So yeah, like it really was the one that opened my eyes to the world of manga. I've never really bothered before that. So because of that, that's number 1 on my list. Cool. So that was my little list of 5 manga series that I really, really enjoyed. I'm sure a lot of you guys out there will have read these books or at least be aware of them. So I'd love to know in the comment section below what your favourite manga is and why. Do me a favour, bang a thumbs up on the video if you thought it were cool. And if you haven't already, please hit that subscribe button. I'd really appreciate it. Anyway, gotta run. So as always, until next time, Jamata!